All right, what is going on, guys? Iridium here, and welcome to my Yoru agent overview and tips guide. In this video, I just wanted to go over Yoru as a whole, tell you all about his abilities, and give you some beginner tips that you can use with your first couple of games with him. I absolutely love Yoru and his outplay potential, and I intend to main him and just do a bunch of theory crafting within private games and just figuring out a bunch of new stuff and cheeky things you can do with all of his abilities, and I will definitely make sure to continue posting videos about those things when I figure them out. So before this video starts, if you guys would not mind hitting that like button as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell, that'll help me out so much, and it'll help you guys not miss a video anytime I post one here on my channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Although since this is the release week of episode 2, I will be having pretty much daily videos throughout this whole week, just with content that I captured in the past test that I had for episode 2, as well as just my normal content like Road to Radiant and Race to Immortal throughout this week. Also, if you guys do want to watch me play episode 2 live when it drops and see some new Yoru tips as I play him live, make sure to head over to my Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/Iridium. I will be streaming there pretty much every day after episode 2 drops. So make sure to head over there, let me know you came from YouTube, and just hang out and have a good time. So with all that being said, let's get right into the overview of Yoru, and then I'll give you guys some beginner tips with him that you can use in your first couple games. Yoru is a new duelist that is coming out in episode 2, and he is geared more towards full outplay potential on his own. His kit completely helps him out in ways of letting himself get initiated into sites by himself and allowing him to have quick ways out of situations that may be a little bit risky to be in as a solo player. He also just comes with a bunch of terrifying abilities that make you constantly fear where he is and always have you checking your back. Starting with his first ability, this is called Fake Out. These are basically just fake footsteps that you can just kind of trigger, and it'll make normal footstep sounds. It's pretty hard to tell these footsteps alike from other footsteps, but if you really listen closely, it doesn't really have any other character sound other than the footsteps. If you guys listen to, say, Array's walking, for example, you can hear her grenades like dangling as she jogs or runs along, but with these fake footsteps, it's just the footstep sound. There's no like clothes moving or any character sound to go with it. So that's the only thing that you can really distinguish these fake footsteps around. You may hear like a squishy footstep sound when you use them yourself, but that's just to let you know and your teammates know that it is your fake footsteps. My favorite part of this ability is the fact that if you use your right click, you can just drop them in the ground like a cipher cage and trigger them at your will. So if you have a big grand scheme, big brain play, you can put it down a specific corner, go across the map, kill someone over there, trigger your footsteps on the other side of the map to make them think you're over there, and just continue lurking like a boss. Moving on to Yoru's blindside ability, which is his flash. This is a very, very interesting flash, and I really like it because it kind of reminds me of a Counter-Strike flash. It's a very quick and speedy pop flash. And the thing that's really cool about this is that you need to bank it off of a wall or something to get it to actually flash. If you throw it out into thin air, it'll actually just fizzle out and nothing will happen. So you have to bank it off of a wall in order for it to actually pop. Enemies will not be able to see the flash until it banks as well. So you can set up for some crazy entries or some really cheeky lurk plays by flashing yourself in with this ability. Yoru's third ability is called Gate Crash, and this is the teleport that everyone is raving about. And it's pretty gnarly if I do say so myself. If you left click this, it'll just go in a straight line where it will eventually pretty much land in a corner every single time. It'll always kind of ride walls and just go in a straight line until it ends up in a specific position, whether it's blocked by a corner or a wall or something else. And if you right click it, it will just stay in one specific position. So if you want to just, you know, sit in your spawn, right click, and then start running down and maybe try to entry somewhere, you can always have that safe place back in your spawn to teleport to. But my favorite thing to do with the teleport is just to try to find some really cool lineups. And with these lineups, you can kind of find corners in the enemy's back lines that you can end the teleport up into. And if you can land the teleport there within like the 25-second or so timer that it has, you can get some really insane lurk plays out of that. Some big questions that people ask about this teleport is that if you can see it or hear it, and yes, you can. If an enemy is close enough to it, they will be able to see the teleport moving, and they will be able to hear it if they are even farther away. Just know that you can hear it farther than you can see it. It's kind of like a high-pitched, like nails against a chalkboard sound, if you know what I'm talking about. I'll try to find a clip of it from some of the gameplay I captured, and I'll put it in for you guys right here so you can start getting used to those sounds.
Reloading.
Zolt's going back here. There is TP.
Flash.
The teleport is also pretty much just restricted to the ground level. You can't really jump up over something and place it over something like you can with a raise bot. Pretty much just restricted to ground level. So just keep this in mind when you're trying to figure out some lineups. And finally, moving on to Yoru's ult. And this one is pretty insane. Basically what you do is just kind of equip your ninja mask and you go into like the space-time dimension. In there, you are completely invisible and unheard from anyone outside. But if you guys notice the dotted line that is around you when you are ulted, that is your radius of being able to be seen and heard. If someone enters that radius, they will see you running around, and they'll also hear like a high-pitched aura sound to know that that is you within their radius. You run 25% faster though in this state, so if you do end up getting spotted, I always try to just run away and just try to outmaneuver someone. It is pretty loud as well though when you come out of the ult, so keep that in mind if you have just passed people and know that once they've learned the sound cues, they're most likely going to turn and try to find you. But I think the best part about this ult, unlike Reyna's where you can kind of hear her like kind of moving around when she's invisible, you cannot hear or see anything when Yoru is ulted, unless again if you are within that dotted line. So that is all of Yoru's abilities, and I know you guys are probably geeking out right now like I was when I first played it and learned about these. I know there's only a couple more days till he's out, so just bear with me. So now, because there's only a couple more days, I'm going to give you guys some tips that you can take to your first couple of games with Yoru so you can get a couple steps ahead of everyone else that may be playing him. The first tip and something to keep in mind when using Yoru is to always have a place to fall back to with your teleport. If I know where my team is going to be going for a specific round, say on offense, I'm always going to have a place for my teleport to be that I can always have a teleport out to within like the first 30 seconds of a round or within a 30-second window of the round in general. Whether it's early round, mid round, or post plant, I'm always going to have a place to fall back to when I know what's going on with our team's specific play. This is where you have to make the decision of just playing it safe and having a teleport back in your spawn, or trying to find a cool lineup over in the enemy's backlines that you can kind of switch to and automatically just switch into that lurk from being an entry duelist or something like that. So just make sure you always have a safe place to fall back to, because it's just a free way to get info if you can just run in, get some info, and teleport back without them knowing where you are. My second tip is to just use your footsteps or fake out ability after you get kills to make enemies think you are going one way when you're sneaking to another. Oftentimes after you get a kill, you're going to be immediately running away to cover and reload and maybe get a heal. So if you can just get into the habit of immediately placing that footstep after getting a kill and making the team think you're going one way, you'll already have the jump on them when someone else comes to try and trade you. That is if you do have enough time to make this all happen, but it's just a good thing to keep in mind to try to use those fake outs to quite literally fake out the team and make them think that you're going one way when you're really sneaking to another. The third tip is something that I actually forgot a lot. I know I didn't play a lot of Yoru, I only played a couple days of him, but it's something that I often forgot, and it was to just always know that your flash is invisible until it bounces. You may be hesitant to flash around a specific corner or something because you know the team may be expecting that, but the window is actually quite short when the flash actually pops after it is banked. So if you're trying to set up yourself when you're lurking by yourself, or if you're trying to set up for a cool execute, just know that this is invisible until it bounces, so you can use this to your advantage when planning very fast executes that gives the enemy team little to no time to react. My fourth tip involves Yoru's gate crash or teleport ability, and this kind of ties in with the first step, and it's just to always try to line up your teleport to get stuck into a corner very far away for lurk potential. And while doing this, you're going to want to make your presence known somewhere else. You want to distract the enemy from possibly being able to see where that teleport's landing or hearing it. So like you'll see in this icebox clip, I like to send my teleport down into one corner over on B site or down into middle, and then while that's happening, I'll kind of give myself some time to maybe throw a flash into A site or take some shots down middle and just kind of distract the enemy team while I'm setting up for a lurk potential. The fifth and final tip I have for you guys is to just try and avoid tight doorways when you're ulting. When you're going through a doorway, that's a very tight area, and with that radius being so specific, you want to try to avoid those areas of where people can enter that radius. So if someone's sitting behind the corner of a doorway, they're pretty much always going to see you if you're running through. So I always like to try to run straight down like an open mid area or somewhere where there's little to no close corners or narrow corridors. And if you do end up having to go down a tight area or through a doorway, or if you end up being seen, again, going back to the first step, just always have that place to fall back to, so you can just immediately come out of your ult and then teleport back once you've gained that info. So that's going to do it for my Yoru overview and tips guide for you guys. I really hope this helps you guys out in understanding Yoru and giving you guys some tips to take into your first couple games when using him. I wish you guys the best of luck insta-locking him because it's going to be very, very hard to get him consistently. But I will give you this one secret tip for making it through the whole video. If you do have all the agents unlocked, he will be the agent in the bottom right corner of the whole full list when you're choosing your agent. So just practice that mouse movement in pre-aiming where that agent is so you can click and lock in as fast as possible. So again, if this video helped you guys out and you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, as I will appreciate it so much. And again, like I said in the beginning, if you guys want to catch me playing episode 2 in Yoru live, head over to my Twitch stream and hang out with me over at twitch.tv/iridium. Again, normally I always stream there every day except for Wednesdays and Sundays. So with all that being said, I will catch you in tomorrow's video, which is actually going to be my 30,000 subscriber montage. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. It's going to be insane. And on that note, ta-ta for now.